The Australian Wheat Board will be sold to the largest agricultural retailer in North America. At a meeting in Melbourne today, shareholders agreed to a $1.2 billion takeover by Canadian-based Agrium. AWB has faced its fair share of problems in the past decade, from drought to the notorious oil for food scandal. Emily Stewart reports.
Very few shareholders were on hand to witness the sale of what was a classic Australian company.
Shareholders are mostly not elated, they're not even happy about selling.
The Australian Wheat Board is still haunted by the payment of kickbacks to the Iraqi government, despite the dismissal of 3 class actions in the US and the settlement last year of an Australian shareholder class action. But there's still one unresolved legal issue, a US civil action by the public of Iraq against 93 companies that participated in the United Nations Oil for Food program.
AWB and a number of other defendants filed a motion to dismiss the complaint in January this year. The motion to dismiss the complaint hasn't been determined by the court yet, but we are hopeful of a decision within the next few months.
And while 80% of shareholders representing 98% of shares voted for the sale, some weren't happy.
Small retail shareholders, many of them are against it. The institutional shareholders are very much in favour. Is that a fair?
Well, you can come to whatever conclusion you want to come to. The votes for, as you can see, are substantial. If some of the small shareholders voted against, I only have to operate within the law.
The board was in favour of the $1.2 billion or $1.50 per share offer from Agrium. AWB had been in discussion with several other companies, including ABB Grain, US-based Gavilon and GrainCorp.
The board considered the offer from Agrium at length and weighed it up against the proposed GrainCorp merger. In our view, the Agrium offer represented better value for shareholders, which was why we decided to change our recommendation to our shareholders.
Last week, the company posted a loss of almost $55 million, a better result than its $250 million loss for the 2008-09 year. The company says it's because of 2 once-off costs from settling its Australian oil for food scandal class action and write-offs surrounding the sale of its landmark loan book. But a former director believes the landmark component of the company has been undervalued.
It's outperformed all the other agricultural commodity suppliers, and I'm just surprised at the basically flat value that the independent expert gave it, which means value to shareholders, and also the actual value of the AWB business.
Agrium has been on a buying spree, in 5 years completing 9 acquisitions worth $3.5 billion. The company says it will establish a regional hub in Australia for expansion into the Asia-Pacific region. And Agrium's managing director, Mike Wilson, says it will retain existing AWB management. We believe AWB employees and customers will benefit from being part of a larger, financially stronger organisation with greater access to working capital and potential for future investment in Australia. It's now up to the Supreme Court to give approval to the scheme. The hearing will take place this week.